Today, we're going to be talking about all the reasons why you shouldn't move to Fort Myers and/or all the reasons you wouldn't like Fort Myers.
Right after this.
Hi, if you're new here, welcome. Thanks for visiting our YouTube channel. If you want to learn all there is to know about living, eating, biking, boating, beaching, scuba diving,
Dining, shopping, golfing, buying a home.
Yep, whatever it is, you come to the right place. Just hit that subscribe button below and hit that bell button. And what happens is whenever we put out new content about our area or teach you about Southwest Florida, you're going to be notified whenever we put that out. I'm Doug Lugers.
I'm Lona Lugers.
We're real estate experts here in sunny Southwest Florida. We've been here for many years and we've helped many people just like you relocate from all over the world so they can also experience our paradise. So today we're going to be talking about all the reasons why you don't like Fort Myers or why you don't want to move here. And where do you think we should start?
Why don't we start with the pace of things?
The pace of things. So fast pace versus slow pace?
Yeah, so like if you're from New York or you're from California and you're used to a really busy, fast pace, you're not going to get that in Fort Myers.
Right. We do get a lot of people from all over the country, especially New York, New Jersey's the east side. And a lot of those people, a lot of you are a lot faster paced. And when you get down here, this is a slower paced area. So we do get people from Miami that move over and they're like, that's too fast. And then we get people over here and we'll sell their home and they want to move to Miami or that side because they want a little bit faster pace. So it just depends on what you prefer, right?
That's a great point, yes. And it's super important for you to know that before you move down here and buy a home on the wrong coast, right? East Coast is going to be busy. It's going to be hustle and bustle. You got your big skyscraper and your city atmosphere there. West Coast is a little more laid back, slower pace. And I like it that way.
I like it that way too. And I will say this too. Some people might think it's a little bit faster paced. It just depends on where you're from. It is a relative thing. Talking about slow pace. Slow pace. We should probably talk about the contractors or service people or people that we need to work on our home.
Yeah.
What would you say about them? How would you describe them?
I would describe them mostly as being on island time. Work ethic, if you're from like the Midwest or something like that, is a little bit different here in Fort Myers. And what I mean by that is people know it's a slower pace here. So when they move here, they relocate here, they want to slow things down. They don't want to have to be as rushed. They don't want to have to be as stressed. And so people sort of run their businesses accordingly.
I agree. And I will say this, there are some, not just like anywhere, but there seems to be quite a few people here that are contractors or service people who are not the best, right? And so Lona and I have been here for many years and we've learned who the good people are. And when you do need somebody, if you reach out to us, we can help you. And chances are if we don't know somebody, we know where to look to find that person. They get you somebody that you can rely on, and that's the important part. But they may show up about 10 or 15 minutes late. That's just a thing.
Or not at all.
Yeah. Not our people.
Not our people.
But the contractors out there, they're known not to show up at all. So when you need good people, just reach out and we'll help you with that. But if you don't reach out, you're going to have to, there's a learning process. You're going to have to sort through quite a few people to find those really good contractors.
So yeah, definitely let us help you. We'd be more than happy to share our vendor list with you so that you can work with people that we know and trust, and they're going to show up for you and do a good job and hopefully complete it according to your timeline.
Absolutely. And since we're talking about slow pace still, why don't we talk about being slow in traffic?
Oh.
Where's the traffic, right? So Fort Myers does have its traffic areas like a lot of areas all across the country. It seems like if you live somewhere that everybody else wants to live, or if you live in a desirable area, one of the things that tells you you're in a desirable area is traffic, because other people want to live there too, right?
Yeah, I will say this, the flow of traffic in Fort Myers is great though. Compared to other cities, you go to other cities and they just don't have the right infrastructure in place. Fort Myers was developed in the 1800s, and they've put a lot of time and effort and work into their roadways. So typically it's not that stop and go traffic that seems to be super frustrating. There's a good flow on the main veins or roadways of traffic in Fort Myers.
Yeah, but since we're talking negatives, I will say that I thought it took me a little while to learn Fort Myers. The roads are a little bit more confusing.
Oh,
it's just because they're not like, if you go to Cape Coral, the roads are north and south and east and west, right? So it's, other than having the canals messing everything up over there, that part of it is pretty easy. Here in Fort Myers, they go all different directions, right? And so it took us a little while longer to learn the roads on the Fort Myers side, but once we learned them, I will tell you that traffic-wise, it's 41. When you go on 41, that's where you're going to hit the traffic, right?
That's a good point.
But that's also, 41 is the main artery where all the shopping and you know, all the stuff that you need is pretty much on 41 for the most part, wouldn't you say?
Mm-hmm.
So that's where you'll hit traffic when you do hit that. So how about the next topic, the weather? Everybody wants to know about the weather, right?
Yeah.
And that's moving here. So you probably think of Florida as hot and humid, and you would be correct.
Yeah.
Right?
It is.
In the summertime, it's hot and it's humid. But what a lot of people don't know is if you live here full time, you start to appreciate the coolness that you get in the summertime when a shower comes through.
Oh yes, definitely. So it is warm here year round, guys. So if you're looking for a place that has like 4 seasons, you don't want to move to Fort Myers. It's endless summer all year long. In the winter months, say January, February, our average temps are between 76 and 82 degrees during the day with no humidity, which in my opinion is the perfect forecast.
Yeah.
I love it. It's still warm enough to go to the beach, but it's not so hot to where you just feel sticky and sweaty. In the summer, and in January, February at night, it does drop down to about 55 degrees, which is wonderful. It really cools things down. You can put on a sweatshirt and some jeans. So I guess that'd be more of a positive, right?
Hot tub weather.
Oh, hot tub weather is the
Yeah.
best, yeah. But then in the summer, particularly July and August, it is very hot. It is very humid. I prefer it. I'm a Southern girl. I was born and raised in the South, and I don't like being cold. I don't like dealing with ice storms and stuff up north. So if I have to battle it out in July and August, you're going to find me in the water somewhere. I'm going to be in the pool in my backyard. I'm going to be out in the boat or on the beach or somewhere cooling down in the water. And that makes the heat and humidity a lot more bearable.
Because we are fish, we enjoy the water, and that's what makes summer bearable to us. If the summer and the heat and humidity are a problem for you, then you might want to look at the snowbird life.
Yeah.
Just enjoy the best of both, right? Be back to where you live or you come from, and live here the best time of the year, which is the wintertime in terms of weather.
Yeah, that's a great point. So what does it mean to be a snowbird? Most of our snowbirds flock down to Florida, like literally the day after Christmas, right? So they like to spend the holidays at home with their families, and then they want to get the heck out of there before all the bad ice and snow and storms and stuff come in. So literally December 26th, everyone's on the road or in flight coming down here, and they stay typically until around Easter, sometimes until the end of April. And if it's still cold up north, they may stay through the end of May. But by that time, they're kind of moving their way out. They're going back to where they came from, and they're enjoying those summer and fall months at home with family.
Yeah, and just one final point about the weather, and we're going to move on. But yesterday evening, Lona and I were out on the lanai, I was enjoying a cigar and a scotch, and it was nice out. But the rain did come through and cool it down, so it's just something that you got to get used to.
Yeah, we're used to it.
I think we hammered that one good. So let's talk about the next one. Let's talk about bugs.
Yeah, we have all the bugs here. We have the mosquitoes. We have no-see-ums. If you don't know what a no-see-um is, it's literally this little invisible bug that comes at you. You can't see it, but it must have the biggest jaws possible because it will bite you.
Y'all, these insects are straight out of the devil's mouth. They're the worst insect on the planet. I want Elon Musk to invent a way to rid the planet of no-see-ums, okay?
I think that's because you're allergic to them.
Yeah, so they say if you have a certain blood type, which must be me, it's really sweet blood, that the no-see-ums are attracted, mosquitoes are attracted more to you. And one day we were out on the beach and we stayed out past mosquito curfew or no-see-um curfew, which is dusk. And when dusk started, the sun started to go down, the no-see-ums came out of nowhere. Again, you can't see them. That's
like
why
in a big swarm.
in a big swarm. Like if you can feel the swarm, there's a lot of no-see-ums, right? Because you can't see these things, right? I like to call it something else, right? But they ate me alive. They like swarmed me, and the whole family was there, and they may have gotten a few bites, but for me, they lit me up. Like I looked like I was on that show Naked and Afraid. Like I had like a freaking rash on my back, and it lasted for weeks. So.
Now, I will say that Fort Myers does a great job of spraying for mosquitoes and things like that. They do a lot of stuff to help control the bug situation. No-see-ums are a little bit of a different breed though.
Yeah.
I think it takes a special cocktail to really kill those things. They're just something else.
Yep. So mosquitoes and that, and I think we covered all for bugs. So let's talk about your favorite subject, reptiles.
Oh.
Not any reptile, but the snake is your
Yeah,
favorite.
I don't like snakes, you guys. And there are snakes in Florida, okay? Yeah, I don't see them every day. It's not like I'm terrified whenever I walk outside or anything, but I have seen them and they are here. We also have iguanas here. We have alligators, we have crocodiles. If you go to the beach, it's the ocean, right? Has sharks in it and things like that that can get you. So if you're afraid of those sorts of things, Fort Myers is probably not the best place for you.
Now, I will say that every place that around the country has their own level of hazards. Like there's hazards everywhere.
Yeah, some
Everywhere
places have scorpions and centipedes, and
Yeah.
right.
And so just it's all relative. It's just something that we deal with, but it doesn't seem to happen a lot where we see those things. So I think that's all. Watch for falling iguanas, right? And when the weather gets cold and it gets below freezing, you have to watch out for the falling iguanas. They literally they tense up or whatever, they freeze and they fall out of trees, and so they say watch out for the falling iguanas.
Thankfully, we don't have a whole lot of days here where it ever freezes. It just doesn't really get that low temperature-wise, but occasionally we may have 1 or 2 days
Cold snap.
during those winter nights where we have, we call it a cold snap. And it freezes the iguanas.
And it's actually exciting. It's good to have a cold snap every now and then.
I enjoy a little bit of a change sometimes.
So that said, the next thing is that we want to talk about is property taxes, right? Because everybody moves down here, and some people say property taxes are high. It depends on where you come from. Some people come down from, like, let's say New York City, and they think that property taxes here are low.
Right.
So property taxes could be a bad thing for you or a reason not to move here, or they could be a great thing. But we're going to include it on this list. So what happens is, here's what we will tell you about property taxes. You have your mill rate or the standard property taxes, and most people that move here want to take advantage of the great state tax structure that we have here in Florida. And that being said, we get what's called a homestead exemption. And a homestead exemption means that if you claim Florida as your primary residence and you live here at least 50% of the year, they give you a tax break on your property taxes.
Mm-hmm.
And you save money that way.
And it can be a substantial amount of money, guys, depending on how many exemptions you qualify for. So there's a whole list of exemptions. There's a standard exemption, but there's also exemptions for veterans, for widows, for things like that. And so, if you can check a few of those boxes, you're going to save a lot of money on taxes.
Absolutely. And we moved down from Cincinnati, Northern Kentucky. The taxes were pretty relative for us. It was pretty much on par. But we did save money in the end because of the homestead exemption, this being our primary residence. And then that leads us to our next thing is another way that you save money on taxes here that makes your property taxes even more bearable is the no state income tax.
Yes,
right?
which I personally love.
I think, don't hold me to this, but I think there's like 6 or 7 states out of all of them that have that no state income tax structure. And Florida is one of them, and it's awesome, right? More money in our pocket. We don't want to give more money to the government, do we? No, I don't think so.
No.
All right, cool. So that leads us to, we kind of talked about weather a little bit. Do you want to touch on rainfall, the storms?
Yeah, because we really didn't get into that, and I think it's super important for people to know. So in Florida, in Fort Myers, we have what's called a rainy season, okay? So from about April or May, all summer long, we get these crazy afternoon showers. They come in mid to late afternoon. They are insane. For about 15 minutes, you'll get hard rain, just downpouring, buckets of rain, thunder, lightning, the whole fireworks show. This literally lasts for about 15 minutes, you guys, and then it's done, and then the sun pops back out. And the good news is it does cool the weather down about 10 degrees. So when Doug mentioned that we were enjoying our lanai last evening, that was right after the rainstorm came in. Actually, we were sitting out there during the rainstorm enjoying it. And then after it blew through and went away, the temp went down, and it was absolutely amazing outside. So those are cool. They're fun to watch at home. They're great to watch from your lanai. You do want to watch your weather app every day, though. If you're planning on moving to Fort Myers or visiting Fort Myers, you want to be indoors when that storm hits. It's not so cool and not so fun when you're actually caught out in it. It can be very scary.
Yeah, ask us how we know. We got caught in it before. We are the lightning capital of the world here in Florida, so we do get a lot of them.
Sure.
So that being said, still talking about weather, let's talk about hurricanes, because there's so many people that fear hurricanes. And I will say, before we talk about hurricanes, we had a whole video on hurricanes and how to prepare for them. We've actually lived through a hurricane, and so you go watch that video and you'll learn how to prepare for it and all that stuff, and make hurricanes more bearable if you live in Florida. So that being said, we do get hurricanes every year. We get at least one hurricane, I would say, and so it seems like, anyway.
Well, at least a tropical storm,
Yeah,
you know. So hurricane season starts June 1st and runs through November 31st. And so you just want to keep a close eye on things. Like, the weather can be questionable during that period. But to me, in my opinion, tornadoes are much scarier than hurricanes. Like, every area has their thing. And from my experience with tornadoes, you don't even know about those things until they're ripping down your street and they're right on you and you're already in the danger zone. But hurricanes are much different than that. So you will know about a hurricane for a while and you'll be able to watch it. It doesn't just come in the same day and clobber you, right? Like, most of the time you have at least a week's notice when a hurricane's coming in. So if that scares you and you want to evacuate in that situation, you have plenty of time to do so.
Absolutely. And I will also say this, that there have been some catastrophic events with hurricanes here in Florida. Like the last one that my memory is Mexico Beach up in the panhandle of Florida. Had a lot of older homes up there, and I think it was Hurricane Michael that pretty much leveled that, but there were a lot of old wood homes. And the difference is here with Southwest Florida is a lot of these homes, or majority of them, a high majority of them, are concrete block construction that are more built to withstand hurricanes. Not all the homes, right? But a lot of them are. And so when we get hit by big storms and hurricanes, the homes just seem to be able to withstand it a lot better than some other older areas. So, you know, that's just something you have to consider. Which also kind of leads us into insurance.
Yeah.
If you're moving to Southwest Florida, we hear it a lot. People are like, man, your insurance is higher here than it is from where I'm from. Well, a lot of that has to do with flooding and hurricanes.
Right. And flood zones. So Florida is surrounded by water, right? So most of the areas in Florida are in flood zones. So if you're coming from somewhere where you just pay a homeowner's premium every year and you're not used to paying a flood premium, you're going to consider the insurance to be much higher in Fort Myers, because now you have 2 policy premiums to pay instead of 1 on an annual basis.
Yeah, so you know, you save some money in some areas, and then others it's a little bit more expensive. And to us, we felt like it always balanced itself out, like it does in other areas, right?
Definitely give or take,
yeah,
right?
Give or take. And so that, but you do deal with that insurance, and if that's a problem for you, it might not be the place for you. But for us, it's like peace of mind. at least I know if a hurricane does hit and does do damage, I do have a specific insurance for that. That's just how I choose to look at it, right? And so we do have that coverage if we do need to.
And we have hurricane rated windows and doors on our home. Our home is an older home, but it is concrete block, and with the upgraded windows and doors and stuff, I feel really good about our situation in the event that a hurricane does roll through.
Agreed. We're prepared.
Yeah.
Then
flooding. Flooding's the next thing, right?
Okay, yep.
So all of the terrain here is super flat, guys. It's Florida. There's no hills. There's no, mountains or anything like that for that water to run off of. So it just comes down hard and fast, and the ground, it can only absorb so much at a time.
Yep.
So the water will start to stand and start to rise if we get a substantial amount of rainfall.
It doesn't take it long to run off. It's usually really fast, but what happens is there are some streets that do get covered in water. You have to be careful. That's just the way it is. Florida's a low-lying area. That's why there's the Everglades are here. There was a jungle here once. So,
but they are hyper aware of that too, and they do things to build homes up on the lot. They bring in a lot of dirt and things like that to increase the elevation level of your home. So while you see sometimes it filling up on the street, I'm never afraid that it's going to run into our house or soak into our walls or anything like that.
Yeah, that's a great point. Just a quick story to that is we had some friends that just built a home recently, and they built it up a couple extra feet to get it out of the flood zone. So just because most of Florida is a flood zone, the majority of it, doesn't mean that your house will be in a flood zone or that you won't get cheaper insurance, because all you got to do is build up the elevation. It might cost you a little bit more money on the front end and construction, but on the back end, on the insurance cost, it'll save you money.
We're actually lucky enough not to live in a flood zone.
Yeah.
I don't know how we pulled that off, but
yeah,
we don't pay flood insurance. We just have a homeowner's policy.
Next thing is melting pot. I would say that we do have a lot of people from all across, like all over the world. Like we have a lot of Germans here and things like people like that. And so we are a melting pot, and if you don't like dealing with various people, might not be the place for you.
Right. So, it's rare that you meet what we refer to as a Florida cracker. A Florida cracker is someone that was born and raised in Florida, right? Most everybody is from somewhere else, just like us. And they want to be down here for the beaches, the golf, the lifestyle, and stuff like that. Who could blame them? So do I. But with that does come a lot of different personalities, a lot of different driving styles. We have a big European presence here in Florida, a lot of Germans and things like that. So if that's not what you're into, it might not be the spot for you. You got to be diverse, and you just got to fit in, right?
Absolutely. Now, I will say that I've met and become friends with plenty of those mythical Florida crackers.
Yes, I have too.
They do exist.
They are like rare unicorns, but they exist.
I remember when I met my first Florida cracker, I was like, you were born here? But,
amazed.
But no, seriously, we hope you learned a lot from this video. And if as always, if you want to stay up to date on what's happening in and around our area, you want to learn things to do, you want to keep up with what's happening on a real estate market, that's a really big one, especially right now. Hit that subscribe button below, hit that bell button over there on the side, and what happens is you'll be notified whenever we put out new content.
Yeah, and if you have any other questions about Fort Myers in particular, or really anywhere in Southwest Florida, if you're considering a move here and you just have some questions, guys, do not hesitate to give us a call, shoot us a text, or an email. We are happy to help.
We help people like you all the time. I'm Doug Lugers.
I'm Lona Lugers.
Thanks for watching.